Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, and today we're going to be talking about which champions actually get used on my account, because obviously there are a ton of great champions in this game, but day to day you tend to kind of like slide back to a small selected group of champions. Before we go any further, it is very imperative that everybody understands that which champions get used are extremely individual circumstance based on which paths you typically do in Alliance War, based on which paths you do in Alliance Quest, based on what kind of like big pieces of content are coming out. And since we haven't had any big piece of content recently, you actually really quickly notice which champions are your day-to-day go-to champions and which champions are kind of like sliding in the background and you just kind of use as and when for whatever reasons. So this is not going to be a full account tour video. I'm gonna do that when I reach 3.25 million hero base rating or something close to that, but there have been significant changes to my account that has happened. So first, I suppose we're going to go over mainly the 21 rank 3 6 stars that I do have. So we're going to sort them out by rank from largest to smallest and filter out the 6 stars only first. And I will go over each of the 21 rank 3s, and then I'm going to give some other special mentions to the champions that should be recognized. Once again, it's most important that people realize this is my personal individual situation based on my personal needs and Alliance Quest. And even that changes effectively whether I do have Suicide Masteries active, whether I don't, and that kind of like often depends on which day it is or whether Alliance War is happening, so on and so forth. We're going to start with Doom. And Doom daily, day to day, pretty much only really gets used for Alliance War offense. Even though he's not the greatest option for Protect Wars, he still is one of the dominant Alliance War champions, and he does put in decent amount of work. And Doom is kind of like the perfect champion currently. High prestige, great on defense, great on offense, great for a ton of different scenarios, long content, short content, so Doom is one of the must-have characters right now. Silver Surfer, quite obviously initially ranked up for prestige. Now I do like Silver Surfer to a degree, but I don't think he's quite like at the top of the cosmic class. But he is one of the champions that I actually end up using for Alliance Quest. Maybe not every week, all week, but for certain days, definitely. Especially, for instance, when parry curse is a thing, or when that annoying epic modifier where you can only throw specific special attack. Why Silver Surfer is good for that? It's quite simple, because he can have a full damage ramp up without a need to ever drop a single special attack, but just by using his heavy attacks. And also, kind of because of that, because of his heavy attack, he can get openings or extend his damage without relying on parry at all. And I just find him quite convenient Alliance Quest champion. And then you can bring him in fights against like Iceman and this track and plenty of other things, depending what paths you do. So Silver Surfer actually does get used. Now Neymar, not so much. Neymar was also primarily a prestige rank up. Overall, he's valued much more than Silver Surfer is, but for me, he typically just kind of does nothing unless as we can see right now, I just took the top 5 or so champions that I had available and brought it in heroic quests to bash out some easy questing opponents, but everybody's dead there with one hit, so it doesn't matter who I bring in. But yeah, Neymar doesn't really get to work. Warlock, again, I use him in AQ and in AW. Warlock is awesome for the reverse controls node in section 3 for AQ for me. And obviously he has put in quite a lot of work in Alliance War, which you guys have had the chance to see in my uploads already. Nick Fury is arguably the most used AQ champion for me right now. He has definitely lost his role in Alliance War offense due to Protect and the fact that he triggers it a lot and relatively easily. And yeah, his role has diminished significantly. I have only used him in like one war, I think, in the last 10-15 wars. So he hardly ever sees Alliance War offense these days, but he does sees a lot of Alliance quest, and he's also good for just questing and have on the team. Thor Ragnarok, obviously purely prestige rank up. Now, Thing was one of my first six rank 3 6 stars, and he pretty much only has seen Alliance War defense. In reality, haven't really used him for much else. And Corvus doesn't see Alliance War offense anymore. I do see some return from this guy recently, but still with Protect Wars, he's not quite the most suitable option for a lot of the fights there, and he definitely has lost a bit of role in Alliance War attack. However, he still is the ultimate Alliance Quest champion, and he definitely is my go-to Alliance Quest option when I run Suicides. And when I don't run Suicide Masteries, I bring him in the weeks when you get that 200% Fury when you perform an intercept. Still puts in a ton of work. Now, if I don't have Suicide Masteries, and for instance, this week we do have that other global node, don't really use him all that much in Alliance Quest, just because I have a ton of different options to pick from. And yeah, I have other options, but he still could do it, it just wouldn't be as kind of like smooth. Black Widow Clairvoyant, I'll be honest, I haven't really used all that much since I took her up. I guess the biggest use for her is the Qualian monthly quest, but that really isn't much to say. You don't need rank 3 champions for that. But currently she does actually sit on my defense because, well, somebody has to, I guess, place her. She's not the greatest defender, it's just one of those diversity placements. Professor X is also a defender for me, primarily. Now, I do like him a lot as a champion. Again, he's decent in Cow monthly EQ, but I don't really use him for Alliance Quest. I don't use him for my daily questing. He's a good champion that I believe will have his place to shine. It just quite hasn't happened on my account yet. And again, just because I don't use these champions daily does not mean they are bad champions. It just means that I don't use them every day. It means that they might do great for a specific big piece of content in future or in past or something that's out there like in Act 6. But currently, since I have done all that, they just don't play a major part, well, in my account. Now, Mojo, quite clearly a defensive rank up and sometimes for fun questing purposes. Aegon, quite literally, I have only used and I only ranked him for my Abyss Revisit streams. It's not going to be needed / usable for quite a while as well, because he's only SIG 40, and next 100 SIG stones that I'm going to get for sure are going to go up to Thor Ragnarok to get him to max SIG. So again, we'll have to wait quite significant amount of time before he actually gets some significant amount of use. And even, let's say, for incursions, where he would be great, yeah, I'd use rank 5 5-star over my rank 3 6-star. Speaking of incursions, again, Thing could technically be amazing, but he's not SIG 200 yet, so I actually do not get to use Thing as well, because that is a must-have requirement. But yeah, that is about it. Ghost, now Ghost I use for AQ quite frequently, and a very big part of the reason to use Ghost is the fact that she doesn't need a parry to find an opening. Therefore, stuff like parry curse is very easily bypassed. And in addition to that, when I'm running Suicide Masteries, I have to take a very, very annoying Void. It's not gonna happen well, that Void's about to get removed from the map, so it will not matter soon. But Ghost has been one of the best options for that Void, because she immediately shrugs off the debuffs, she can finish off the fights quickly, and whenever I have Suicide Masteries active, more often than not, I end up using Ghost for that Void specifically. Now, Human Torch has seen a lot and is seeing a lot of play for sure. I kind of am possibly considering taking my 5-star after rank 5, perhaps, maybe, if I get some spare catalyst, because my 6-star is consistently being torn in between Alliance War and Alliance Quest. Now, for Alliance Quest, I primarily use him only in the map rotation where White Magneto is a mini-boss, because he's the best option for that, and he also is a decent option for Mephisto on a lane for me, on lane 8, leading up to that fight. And then in section 3, I have to take Iceman, which is also a fight that this guy can handle. So he kind of fits well with my paths, so therefore he goes in Alliance Quest sometimes, and obviously he's one of the Alliance War MVPs. Magneto sees medium use. I pretty much never bring him to Alliance War, but obviously he's great for a ton of perhaps problem fights in Cav quests and stuff like that, and also I do use him offensively on War from time to time. Colossus, unfortunately, has been designed for defense right now. Now, I did use my 5-star Colossus a ton in most of the kind of like new piece of content. Unfortunately, there hasn't been much stuff released, so I actually haven't had a chance to really kind of like open up my Colossus. Hopefully it's gonna happen, but so far, since I ranked him up like a month ago probably, if that, he's just been going on Alliance for defense, which is not the reason why I ranked him up, by the way. Cosmic Ghost Rider, one of the most recent rank ups, haven't used him for anything at all whatsoever yet. Hulkbuster is also one of the champions I place on defense, but he's one of the cab quest MVPs and overall just a fun questing champion. I actually do bust him out, and Cosmic Ghost Rider sometimes just for casual questing. Domino is a very, very old rank up of mine, and I'll be honest, this is probably the one rank up that I wish I could take back. I ranked her up quite for funsies, and I was deciding in between Emma and Domino. Fortunately, I went to Domino. I wish I would have picked Emma, or ideally, I wish I had saved that catalyst to rank up some of the champions I have access to now, like even White Magneto. And Immortal Hulk sits on defense, but is a total fun rank up. I use him for questing all the time just because I love to play with him. So there's that. And I also actually use him sometimes for AQ to bypass the Give Me Spectre lane. He's fantastic for that. And also he's great for cascading failure because he hardly ever crits. And even if he crits, you get first like a Spectre debuff, which he just gets free willpower heal from because he's unaffected by Spectre. And then if you get additional debuffs, he just can heal a ton of health. So he's actually very good, one of the, if not the best option for cascading failure, to be honest. And yeah, Moleman does see quite a lot of play in AQ and in Alliance War and in questing because he's just a quick, rapid quester. Especially if you have Suicide Masteries active, drop a heavy attack, take a hit on a block, you have 6 charges, and that's typically enough to finish out the fight. And obviously we have seen some use of Moleman in Alliance War as well, and in Alliance Quest I uploaded 2 videos with him. And that is it for my rank 3s, for most part. Now, any other kind of like special shoutouts for 6 stars that I like using? Black Widow Deadly Origins is very, very fun to play, so I do love using her from time to time. And Tigra is also very fun, so I do use her a fair bit. But that is the realistic day-to-day situation. Keep in mind, again, these kind of like recommendations do not at all take in consideration big pieces of content, obviously. This had nothing to do with Abyss, this had nothing to do with any of the variants or chapters in Act 6. Just kind of like day-to-day life, what I happen to use and rely on. And again, it kind of like changes always based on my masteries, based on the paths that I have to take, so on and so forth. But I figured it would be an interesting topic because often we all hear that rank that champion is awesome, and then you end up doing very little with that champion. And again, I am fairly spoiled for choice, so there is that too. But anyways, let me know which are your day-to-day MVPs. That being said, I think that is about it now. I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about